Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to do a quick little flip through, kind of first impressions of the Little Monsters Tarot. This is an independent deck by Olivia Ephraim Pepper and Peony Coin Archer. And I got this deck on Etsy. It's been on my wish list for a little while. It is an entirely black and white deck. The guidebook is sold separately, so you can buy the deck with or without the guidebook. And it does come in a simple cardboard tuck box. I've already pulled my deck out of that and put it into a Peggy bag. This is a slightly smaller than standard. It's one of her original ones, so it's not a standard size. This would probably fit the best in a standard size Peggy bag, but this works for me. So I just wanted to take you guys through the cards and give you a chance to see this one in full if you haven't yet. Now this deck used to be a smaller deck, like a little mini, and now it is a bigger deck. So it is, there's your standard Rider-Waite-Smith, and you can kind of see the size difference there. So I will do a quick look at the guidebook after I show you all of the cards. For now, I just want to give you a chance to see them all. I didn't see, I don't think, any walkthroughs of the deck when it's at this size, because for a long time this deck was only sold in that smaller profile. So I'm going to zoom us in a bit, and let's go through. Fool, the Magician. I love this lemniscate in the center. The High Priestess. I think she's beautiful. This deck kind of gives me vibes similar to like illustrations in children's books. It reminds me a little bit of the book Where the Wild Things Are, and I've mentioned that before, but I don't really know why that is. Some of these cards, like this Emperor, feel more illustrative to me, and some feel a lot more sparse, like this Hierophant. I love this Lover's card. I love that it's genderless, and I love that you see these two figures just sitting in this very intimate pose. I adore this Chariot. It feels so dreamlike and magical to me. The Strength, and you can just see this figure sort of hugging this beastie here. I really love color, so it's not often that I'm drawn to a black and white deck, but this one just has a lot of personality to it. The Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Hanged Man. I love that Death feels almost resigned to its duty, if that makes any sense, but you still have the flag from Rider-Waite-Smith there. Temperance. I really enjoy that image. This Devil cracks me up. He just seems so playful and like just delightful, but still, you know, the devil. The Tower. I also like the imagery here about the isolation of the tower. I think a lot of times when our towers get struck down, it's because we've become very rooted in beliefs that no longer serve, and sometimes that's because we haven't been listening either to our higher self or to the voices of wisdom around us. The Star. The Moon. I love this. I love the mystery of looking at the back of this figure. I love the moon phases. The Sun. I totally get dark crystal vibes from this card every time I see it. It makes me smile. Judgment. The World. Ace of Coins. Love this Two of Coins. Three of Coins. I think the minors do a really good job of illustrating the meanings of the cards. The Four of Coins, sort of being careful, holding on to your resources. The Five, and the feelings of isolation, but also comforting each other. The Six, giving and receiving. The Seven, waiting to harvest. The Eight, this is like the mastery card. The Nine, really enjoying one's resources and possessions. And the 10, the legacy card. The Child of Coins. So instead of pages, we have child. The Knight of Coins. The Queen of Coins. And the King of Coins. I love how comfortable this figure is. We have arrows instead of swords. So we have our Ace of Arrows. our 2 of arrows. Our 3 of arrows, our lesson. Rest in the 4 of arrows. 5 of arrows. The 6 of arrows. The 7 of arrows. The 8 of arrows. The figure's face here just cracks me up. The 9 of arrows. The 10, sorry. The child of arrows. The knight. The queen. I love her. I get brave vibes here, which is a really interesting take on the Queen of Swords, which is somebody that I don't necessarily always picture that way. So it's kind of neat to see that side of her. The King of Arrows. Moving into the wands, we have the Ace of Wands. I love this new growth, this sort of sapling. The 2 of Wands. The 3 of Wands. The 4 of Wands. The 5. I love this. These figures are all like, huh, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I just get this feeling of like a stalemate. So other than, like a lot of times we see competition and action happening, but instead of a competition of action, this feels like a competition of inaction, which I love. The 6. The 7. The 8. The 9. We still have the little bandage. And the 10. The Child of Wands. The Knight of Wands. The Queen of Wands. And the King of Wands. Moving into the cups, we have the Ace of Cups. The 2 of Cups. I love the playfulness here. The 3 of Cups. Same here. You get that joy. The 4 of Cups. I love how, because the 4s are generally that time of stability of emotions, it can also feel like stasis or like stagnation. And I love how comfortable and cozy she seems to be with the status quo here. The 5 of Cups. Here I really like how the spilled liquid also seems to be part of this monster's sort of body. And there's this idea of, it just makes me think of identifying with our grief. Sometimes we get so lost in our emotion and in our sadness or our regret that we start to identify with it. We're wallowing in it. And I think that's what that makes me think of. The 6 of Cups. The 7. The 8. The 9. The 10. I love this Child of Cups. The Knight of Cups. The Queen of Cups. I adore this with her little pot of tea. And the King of Cups. So those are all of the cards of the Little Monsters Tarot. Let's take a quick look at the guidebook. So in the guidebook, you have a welcome, a how to read the cards. There's a couple of spreads. One is called the nest spread, and one is butterfly eggs, and one is seeds. I was tempted when I saw these images. I kind of wondered if this deck, if the creators envisioned this deck actually being egg-shaped. And I've toyed with the idea of maybe trimming this, like scissor trimming this into those oval shapes. I'm not super confident that I could do that uniformly, so I'm probably not going to, but it is a little tempting when I look at the backs and the fronts to trim them into that egg shape. You get introduction to the major arcana, and then you get right into the card meanings. This book, from what I have flipped through so far, is written in very plain language. It's very easy to understand. There aren't color images, but of course it's not a color deck. So you get a mini of the line drawing without its egg container. And there's quite a bit of information. There's some keywords. There's also, for all of the majors, a few gemstones and herbs associated with that card. When you get into the minors, there are no more gemstones or herbs, but you do have upright and reversed meanings. But it seems very detailed, so I haven't had a chance to read it all the way through yet, but there's an introduction to each suit. It talks about what that suit is associated with. But it doesn't seem to skimp at all on the meanings, and you do have upright, I think I said this already, but upright and reversed meanings. When you get to the back, I think there's just a little bit about the authors, the illustrator, and the writer. Some acknowledgments, and that is it. So the book is a total of 176 pages, including the author bios. So that is the Little Monsters Tarot and Guidebook. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I flipped through this deck. If you have this deck or have some thoughts on this deck, please share them down below. And remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye!